I like to call myself an observer of humanity. To be honest, this is one of the best times to be a conscious observer of humanity. When things are quote unquote bad, you know what I mean? I'm using that term just for lack of better words. I don't consider nothing purely good or nothing purely bad. But I know right now a lot of people consider this is a bad time or this is horrific or whatever. It's the best time to watch humans and how they act, you know? So what I would tell people, I would challenge people in the present and in the future. If you're watching this in the future, it is your present. Is the quicker you can look at everybody as the reflections of you, the quicker you can get to getting past that. This is good. This is bad. This is black. This is white. This is gay. This is straight. This is up. This is down. This is a blessing. This is detrimental. The quicker you can get from duality thinking, the quicker you can get from separation. That's why, regardless of what religion you practice, what spiritual sect that you follow, it's called the one. Why is it called the one? Because there is nothing beyond the one. It's just there. When you have two is when you have an opposing part, and that's when you can combat each other. But it's hard to fight when you're just one. If I recognize Noel as me, I would never fight him. You feel me? I met an elder yesterday. I went to my mom's house. I had to do some work for her. And it was a gentleman lived across the street. And mind you, my mom's lived at this crib for years. Never seen this gentleman before. I hopped out my car, and the elder was like, "Hotep, brother, Hotep." So I'm like, okay, he used a key, you know what I mean? He using keywords. He's saying Hotep, so I'm already knowing that he's on to something. So long story short, I ended up chopping it up with him for about 35, 40 minutes. You know, he was just going on and on about, you know, just religion and spirituality and, you know, the plight of the so-called melanated people. He was just going in, and you can tell he had a certain level of conscience. To be honest, a lot of things were, how can I say this, more from a rhetoric of militance and wanting to change things and fight an enemy that really isn't an enemy, and a lot of anger there. But not once did I disagree with him, not once did I challenge his thinking, not once did I did anything to let him know that I opposed him. Because I'm big on not arguing with anyone. That person is at a certain level of overstanding at this point. Doesn't matter if he's my elder, but he still is at a certain level of overstanding. And I noticed that a lot of people are always trying to challenge somebody. Okay, I see that, my brother, but have you looked at it like this? What about just receiving what he's saying, even if it doesn't meshes with what you're dealing with, but just building and seeing him as one? Because to be honest, he was a younger version of me, even though he was older. So if I was to combat him and argue and do all this stuff, all we doing is fighting with myself. So I don't know if that was kind of long-winded, but my whole point is, 5 years ago, Ali probably wouldn't have done that. I would have had to prove to him that I'm out here, I'm teaching the babies, I'm doing all this work or whatever. But right now, I'm being 43 years old, comfortable in my spiritual maturity. I can exchange energy with anyone. I don't care if you're 8. I don't care who you are. You know, my only rule is just don't touch me. You touch me, then that's my ego. I'm gonna have to react to protect my physical being. But you can use words, say whatever you want to, disagree, argue, but I'm not gonna argue with you. So I'm sharing that to say, it's my will that everyone gets to the spot where they see everybody as a reflection of themselves and we see everything as one. That's how we're gonna go from 3D thinking, 4D thinking to what they call the fifth dimension. That is one. There's no polarity and duality in one. We need to get to that spot of singularity, in my opinion.
Wow. You guys rewind that. When this is posted, if you're watching this live, rewind that and listen to what Ali just shared on that last part. And if you're watching this when it's already out, listen to that segment again. That's very, very important and very powerful. And I agree wholeheartedly in everything that you said. And here's what I've noticed about life, Ali, which it helps so much for me, because when I leave the house of just how I live my day, the reason that we talked about like meditation and why that's so important to me is because if my frequency is connected, if I know I'm being who I truly am, who we all truly are, if I can really trust my frequency, my vibration, then I know that I'm going to respond the way that you responded to that elder, in the same way, with compassion, with love. Like my ego doesn't need to get involved and be like, well, let me share here these things. Like that's not me being connected, you know, in those moments. So that's the reason I start the day that way, because I can feel it when my frequency leaves that place, and I'm human as well. So it's a big difference between being, you know, at peace or anything that has a higher momentum than that, where I'm excited, I'm passionate, I'm being loved, I'm blissed out, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But there's a big difference between that and being like frustrated or critical of someone, or, you know, judging someone, or, you know, blaming someone. That energy feels, that's way different. Like it just, you can feel that, you know, in every core of our body. So, you know, just knowing that, and knowing that the only way that I'm going to speak, or, you know, the thoughts that I'm going to receive when we talk about channeling, the only thoughts that I'm going to receive is going to be from the frequency that I'm in right now in this moment. So if I'm in a condemning place, if I could be aware of it, then I really don't need to be saying anything to this person or myself, because I mean, now I have to circle back and be like, you know what, I was, you know, and that's when so I love what you said, because, you know, for me, if I know that I'm connected, like I would respond the exact same way. I've had some beautiful conversations with people of all ages, and it's just so interesting because I'm looking at them through the eyes of, they're just a different expression of me, and they're just seeing the world through a different lens, and they're just at a different place right now in their soul's journey, and it's all good, you know? So I love it. That's awesome reminder for all of us.
True indeed, bro.
Yeah.
True indeed. And what I wanted to share with y'all though, I didn't start out like this. You know what I'm saying? Didn't start out like this, but that's why I said when you really go deeper within yourself, and you turn all the external things, literally go deep within yourself, you understand, you know what? You have weaknesses and you have strengths. And some weaknesses you're not going to be able to turn into a strength. You know, the most successful people, they don't worry about their weakness. They commission someone else to take care of it. You know, if they're a business owner and they're not good at marketing, they'll get a marketing director, a marketing supervisor. They're not going to go study and learn about marketing. But I share that to say I'm at a point where I know my strength and I know my weaknesses or whatever. But I know that the only enemy, and it's cliche, is the inner me. Like, I literally do not have any enemies. I'll share a story real quick. There was a guy that, I want to say, I'm not good with linear time, but this was maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Without getting too deep within it, he pepper sprayed. It was a neighbor of mine, and he pepper sprayed. And to be honest, I've never been pepper sprayed by a cop. And to have someone that looked like me pepper spray me, I was furious. And I remember sitting in my duplex, and every time I thought about him, I started shaking. I started shaking and trembling. I really wanted to hurt him, you know, and I'm just being quite frank, you know, quite honest. Once again, I heard the spirit tell me I have to forgive him. And I remember like, man, I gotta forgive, you know what I'm saying? And literally when I forgave him, in my heart, I said, I'll forgive him. You know, not tell him to his face. I was like, I forgive him. And I remember this weight just came off of me. When I want to say maybe less than a week later, I had a cousin hit me up who asked me to go to a wedding reception. Something I normally wouldn't go to. And he had to kind of convince me, like, no, cuz you need to go to this wedding reception. You know what I'm saying? Like, really talking me into it. And it's a cuz I have much respect for. So I went to a wedding reception, and guess who was there? The guy that pepper sprayed. Seen him, walked right over to him and said, bro, I forgive you. He didn't say I'm sorry. I said, I forgive you. You know? And from that point, like, I've seen him a few other times, and my spirit, my energy is good. Do I want to be best of friends with him? No. But I can see him. He even said, what up to me? Hey, what's up, bro? And I just keep it moving. But I don't, and to be honest, I'm a big dude, you know what I mean? I grew up fighting, doing things or whatever, so it wouldn't be too much for me to get physical with him. But still, I'm able to deal with it, be at peace, and not have that energy of, you're my enemy, I don't like you, I want to hurt you, come about. And this isn't rhetoric, this is something that's real. But forgiveness is big. So I wanted to share that story because I don't have any enemies, whether I know them, the system, no one's my enemy. The only enemy, the one you can fight, is the one within, the one you look in the mirror at. Once you conquer that enemy, you will have no people that you want to harm or whatever, and no one else can harm you.
Absolutely. I love that you brought that up. That's that's such a big one. Like the weight that Ali described being, gone from him when he was able to release that he was holding on to. That's so big because really, I mean, that person probably wasn't even thinking, like the only person that's really feeling the weight is us in those situations. Like he probably wasn't even thinking about it that much, as much as, so I could totally relate to that. And when you can just release it, just knowing that we're the ones that are taking the damage internally, when we have all this heaviness on and we're still thinking about, people or situations or things in the government, anything that outside of us that we're thinking is the reason that, we're upset and we feel this way, we can get to the point where, we can release it however we need to do it. It's so important. And I love that you mentioned, like, before you shared that story, as far as parts of our life that, that you weren't always this way. Like, I take every chance I get now to let people know, like, what my evolution has looked like. And it's actually interesting, like how I say it is, because you mentioned how your weaknesses may not turn into your strengths. There's definitely parts of my life that I know that I'm probably not going to focus enough on to make it a strength. But this area of being, because I'm a competitive athlete, like when I was a kid, like just grew up playing, competitive sports in the inner city, and we were always talking trash to each other. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
That was just my vibe, and it just seemed normal. I mean, anybody from the outside would hear us talking, and like, do they even like each other? Are they really gonna fight? Like, that's just how we grew up. And so, becoming an adult with that mentality, like my mind would switch to being critical. And I'm thankful that I was never really someone that would just like verbally like assault people. I've never had that vibe. But it doesn't even matter if, like, in your mind, every chance you get, like, you're talking trash. And if it did go to verbal or anything further, like, it could just happen so quick. Like, it was just when Drake's lyrics go from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, that was me. It was just way too fast. So it's tough to maintain a frequency that you enjoy being in the world in if you can move so fast from, being in a good mood to all of a sudden, like, being, critical and ready to be combative. So I had to ask the universe, like, this was a blind spot for me. I didn't even realize that it was so much of a weakness. It was just something I was used to. And through meditation, I actually asked the universe to show me blind spots that were affecting my life. And that was the one. It didn't take long. It was like a few meditations, and I started paying attention, like during the day. Like after I meditated in the morning, I pay attention. And then I start seeing myself, talking trash, mentally. And then, damn, like I'm doing this a lot. And then it didn't take long to where now, even this is 7-8 years later, if I even catch myself being critical of myself or more so others, even for one thought, I'm quick to say, stop it, Noel. Like that's just not, we're not going down that route. Like there's nothing to be a minute or an hour of thinking about it or a day. One thought is all that my mind is allowed to have when it comes, because I just know where that's going, and it's not how I choose to live. So now I say that's my greatest strength, is just caring about the present moment, vibration and energy. I just want to be at least at peace, because I know I can maneuver in the world, have conversations like these. If I'm there, I can hear the synchronicities and see the synchronicities and the good ideas. Like I'm connected. We all are, and we can at least be there. So I'm happy you brought that up. I point that out any chance I get to just know, because people hear me talking about all the stuff and say, "No, you're always in a good mood." I'm human too, but I care. It matters to me, like what my mood is. That's what I encourage everyone. If your vibe in the moment is the only thing that you can control and that it is promised to any of us is right here and now, if that's important to you, you'll pay attention, and do whatever you need to do to practice. It's just a practice. So
that's real. That's real. And you have a kind of energy. You're more like upbeat or whatever. So if you are in a quote unquote low vibration or low mood, it's easily detectable. You know what I'm saying? Because you're so, you know what I mean? Hey, you know what I mean? You're upbeat, for lack of a better word. So, people like that, you feed a lot of people. People feed off your energy. So I can understand that you probably have times where you just want to withdraw a little bit. Like I need some time myself, because people tugging on your energy. You know what I mean? If you would, I can tell that.
I live alone, so anytime I want to like chill.
Smart.
Yeah, anytime I want to just chill, relax, like it's done. And then when I'm posting all the stuff that you guys see out there on social media, I'm cooling out. I'm on my bed. Like that's coming. That's it's definitely I appreciate everything we're talking about in this conversation. You teed me up several times. Kindred spirits, like you said, like you teed me up some things I love sharing with the audience, because we're all on this journey, and we're always going to be evolving. And this is how you started the conversation. Just, once we could be open to, what the universe has, what's next for us, like we'll constantly have what we need when we need it. None of us need to know all the secrets of the universe, and we won't, not in this one incarnation. That's for sure. So,
you can. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I said we'll have what we need when we need it, and that probably tease you up perfectly.
Yeah. Because people. Well, I noticed too that's a challenge, and this is just my conscious observation. If it doesn't apply to you, let it go. But a lot of people worry about the things they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're worried. Like, okay, I get that, but what about this? But you have everything you need to start. And the cliche adage is you take one step towards the Most High, you take 2 steps towards you, or something like that, meaning that you have to start. A lot of people are waiting for help from the deities, the angels, your ancestors, whatever you want to call it, the universe. They're waiting on help, but you have enough to do whatever you can do right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if it's starting YouTube, meditate, business, wherever you are, whatever you have is enough to start, or you wouldn't have the ideal come to your mind. So another thing that I challenge the audience to do is, what can you do now? I wrote a book called Now Purpose Manual, and it's titled that for a reason, not life purpose, because that's too grandiose, that's too big. Okay, what I'm gonna do the rest of my life? No, what are you gonna do now? And the way I like to explain it, you walk through a door, you notice that there's a room, and you explore that room, you find things, and then you get everything in that room, and you realize there's another door. So you go through that door, and there's another room. But you keep doing that, and eventually that's how you ascend. That's how you raise your consciousness, raise your vibration. Go through one door that leads to another door that leads to another door. This is a perpetual cycle until you transition, or what they call death. And then that's a whole nother reality within itself, and that gets very convoluted. Don't think we want to go there in this sit down.
Well, the name of your book is the perfect reason why I don't really need to go there, and it's not necessary for me. For those that love going there, and it's awesome, because we have people on the planet that's their biggest passion, is just helping people connect with people on the other side, mediumship and all that. Awesome. I love how we're all drawn to different things. But the fact that the book is called Now Purpose Manual, I love it. That's all I care about. When people ask me, you want to know, Noel, about what's going to happen after you go, or what happened in the past. For me, I'm really excited to be here right now.
Yes.
So, what I do know is our energy, our spirit is going to continue being, it's not going to cease to exist ever. So that gave me all the peace that I need, because whatever my spirit chooses to do once I leave this physical body, I know it's going to be awesome. Whether I come back and experience more life here on Earth, or do whatever in any dimension, it doesn't matter to me. I know I'll be, and that's how all of us will be. So, I'm already opening up the door, but I like to plant that seed anytime I can, because that gave me so much peace to not fear death, and at the same time knowing that there's things that I really, really know that I'm here in this incarnation to share and to enjoy and experience, and so I feel like I'll be here for a while. But I'm not attached to how long that is, but I have some things that I'm gonna do, and I know you do too, before we get out of here.
Yeah, that's real. And here's the thing too: people worry about their death, but they're dead every day. They live like they're dead. Sometimes the dead are living more than the living. That might seem paradoxical, but if you put your spirit to it, you understand what I'm saying. A lot of you watching this are already dead, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Just going through the motions, going to a job you hate, existing with a person you don't want to be with, just going through the motion. Are you really, truly living? Earth is a place for the living.
I love that. And for all you out there, that can change right now. Provide some information. Appreciate everybody out there. And whether you're hearing this right now live, or when this is released in a few weeks, or 50, 100 years from now, just sending all sorts of love and vibes to all you guys. Rooting for everybody out there. We're all connected in this. And regardless of what challenges may be going on now or anytime, it's all for our good. Everything is working out for us, and we're all evolving from this place, and being able to look at what's important to us. What is it that we want to create in our lives or for humanity? And for those of us that can focus on that and not put all of our attention on what's already been manifested, because that's already here. So now we get to ask, because of this, what is it that I now want to create bring into reality what new thing do I want to create, those are the people that are going to keep creating and keep evolving and keep enjoying this life. And we don't have to be stuck on the things that are already in the past, basically, because it's already here. So the stuff going on in humanity right now is already here. So now what do we want to create, from here? And that's the question that I get to ask, and everybody out there gets to ask. And I'm excited for whatever the answer is for you. So love it. I didn't explain on sharing all that just now, but it just came out. I got to share this before I get off. I love it.